Hey, I'm back. So I know I haven't posted anything here on YouTube since June. As of now, the last video I've posted, if you don't include any recent videos I may have posted before this one, is the Alternate Realities Render Challenge, which, by the way, stands to be my best video yet. And if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you do after this video. Nonetheless, that was 9 months ago. So what have I been up to in those 9 months? Well, I actually have been posting stuff, just on Instagram, not YouTube. And having this split between posting on Instagram but not YouTube really bummed me out. So from November-ish to now, I've been working towards syncing my social media accounts and content, something I've wanted to do for ages. The short of it is, you can now find my project's inward content on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and TikTok. So why did this take so long to accomplish? Because for one, my projects for Instagram are usually squared off, meaning the width and the height of the photo or video or what have you is the same. This becomes an issue with TikTok primarily, as TikTok has a more narrow aspect ratio for viewing on mobile devices vertically rather than horizontally. However, it can also be an issue if I ever wanted to do something like YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels that have the same gimmick. Because of this, I needed to re-render all my past posts, which leads me to the second obstacle I had to overcome. Some of these projects are old and outdated. Just opening them up today could have issues like missing textures, models, being in an older release of Blender, or, the worst, no project file to go off of in the first place. That's right, some of these past projects I had to recreate from scratch, like this bed post from 2020. Yes, I had to recreate that. There is another benefit to remaking all these projects, and that is that I get the opportunity to revisit these projects with the knowledge, skills, and tips I've learned along the way. Keep in mind, these past projects haven't been just to get something out there or for the sake of posting something, but to learn, to improve and become better as an artist and content creator. To learn raster art, vector art, how to create environments achieving realism, surrealism, learning volumetrics or material nodes, or geometry nodes. Every single post up until this point has in some way served to teach me a new skill with what I do. And with that said, my past projects have many flaws and mistakes. To name a few, the leading lines in this artwork don't line up with the camera's perspective because it was based off of a drawing. The fire in this fireplace is a gas fire and not one from burning firewood. Also, the table has sharp edges leading to artifacts. These gears had issues with their UVs and normals, causing them to turn black, stay black, or flicker in specularity while the gears and cogs turned. The desk actually doesn't ever touch the ground and instead floats above it. The demonstration for the HDRI or cube map wasn't done properly to show off reflections, and instead was just a texture mapped on a sphere. The camera rotation around these objects was done manually, rather than using an empty or rotating around an axis linearly, which created this weird bobbing effect. This post wasn't rendered with the transitions in mind, and instead spliced together in post-production, which creates this jittering effect. The inward logo is barely noticeable because the camera doesn't stop its rotation when it's lined up with the more complex logo, and instead stops for the heart. Also, the background moves slower than the foreground. And in this post I brought up earlier, because at the time I was just starting out in Blender, I didn't know about emission lightings or area lights, and instead used point lights alongside the bed. There's also no LED strip, so the light is just there. And actually, let's take a look at this post in detail, seeing as I had to remake it completely. Because this is not at all what my bedroom looked like. Like, here, take a look at this. This is what my room looked like in 2020. Well, more or less. It's missing quite a bit of stuff on the desks, but it's a fairly accurate representation of it. See how aside from just the bed, there's also other stuff too, like a desk, a computer, 2 of them, another bed behind mine, and even a door? When this post was created, it didn't include any of those things, and instead had 2 blank walls. One of them was directly behind my bed. This was mainly due to the fact that I wasn't very skilled at 3D modeling, and I didn't want to spend forever creating a scene that was merely to demonstrate the newly added cloth brush to Blender. And from the standpoint of a simple post on Instagram, I mean, I guess it works. But when you think about the bigger picture of how that room must have looked like, it's empty, it's uncanny, it's like something straight out of the back rooms. Anyway, so go check it out. All of my posts can be found on all those platforms, links in the description. Now, the other end of this video is not to talk about what I've done or what I've been doing, but what I'm going to do. What are my plans? What are some future projects and ambitions you guys can look forward to? The first thing I should touch upon is SCP, as it is what my channel has been built onto. I only have one SCP video, and believe it or not, I have been working on SCP projects. To name a few, I've created a few 3D models of various SCPs based off of the wiki. These include 173, 682, 1499, 914, and the Mask of 049. The Mask of 049 and 1499 were actually based off of the real GP5 Soviet gas mask and the disguised brand Venetian mask. I've been working on a mod for SCP Containment Breach that attempts to change the models and textures from the game to be more accurate to the wiki. The small amount that I have changed has been 173, 1499, keycards, severed hands, and even the thumbnails for items. I stopped working on it because I couldn't figure out animations for NPCs and I hit a roadblock. I planned a video for talking about the origins of sounds, music, textures, and really anything found inside SCP Containment Breach's files, from bloodstains to music used in the trailers. I also wanted to make a video talking about how to play Containment Breach, albeit Battleforge beat me to it. Although I could make my own video because you all know my editing is spectacular! And just so you know, if any of these videos are something you want to see, let me know. DM me on Instagram, comment on this video, because the problem isn't that those ideas were hard to do, it's more indecisiveness on which one I want to put effort to, and in the end I end up working on another project. I do have an SCP video that will see the light of day, and here's a teaser for that. It's because April 15th is the big 10-year anniversary from the initial release date of SCP Containment Breach. It's also in turn because SCP-173's photo is finally being changed, and I wish to make a video commending that before it is. Aside from that, I do have a video for June of this year, June 27th to be precise, and that will remain a secret until then. Another video is for December to commend the 10-year anniversary of my favorite album, Hawaii Part 2, where I'll break down my favorite song. I also plan to do a review video on a special device from my favorite company. Well, whenever I get it. Because I'm scheduled for after Q3 and I used to be after Q2, so it may be a bit. I have no clue when I'm going to get it. With that, I think that is all I have planned. There will be more posts and projects to come, not just the planned ones, but also the ones I have yet to plan. But every post from now on will be on all the listed platforms. With that, I hope you all enjoyed this announcement video, and I hope you all see me very, very soon in the next video. What we're going to do is we're going to bang on the table, and then we're going to take that sound recording of us banging on the table and put it into reverse, and that's going to be the sound for my intro. Okay, this is going to be the one, okay? So we got to make it good. If it sucks, we got to do it again.
Okay.
That's good. Do you want to take a listen to it?
Okay.
So there we go. Now I have an intro sound.
Yay!
Yay! So that's now going to be a part of every video from now on. And we'll have this recording to know that we made it and to remember.
Yep.